We just got done unloading 3 tons of hay, but that's not our story today. We're not just talking about any hay. We have a special kind of hay we're going to talk about, Sainfoin. We're here today with Stu and Jessi of Elloom Farm. They're over here from the Palouse region of eastern Washington doing a hay delivery, and they're here to tell us about this really cool type of hay that we found.
So Sainfoin is a legume hay, even though it looks a bit more grassy. It is a legume hay. It's higher in protein, and it's got some really cool properties to it.
Before you get into the properties,
Okay.
Can you just mention what some of the other legume hays are, just for context there?
Yeah. So alfalfa is probably the most common, and then there's vetch is a legume. Lentils, if you use them for hay.
Clover.
But then you're getting, clover. And then any of the pulse crops would be considered legumes, peas, things like that.
And there's another category, there's grass hay, right?
Yes.
So we have grass and legume hay, and Sainfoin is in the legume category.
Yes.
All right,
yes,
cool.
Absolutely. Yep, that's it. It's a really old type of hay, came over from Europe and has been used for centuries, but you don't see it so much anymore because it doesn't grow as strong as like the alfalfas do. You only really get one cutting off of it. And then it doesn't really come back too much, but it is more of a dry land thing, and so we kind of stumbled upon it looking for a potential cover crop type thing, which
it's a terrible cover crop. It takes a good year to establish it.
Yeah.
So that's probably another reason why nobody grows it commercially, is because it's a pretty terrible crop for trying to get volume off of.
Yeah, but it's awesome for animals. It's great for the animals, and we've actually found a lot of people, we don't spray, and so we've got a pretty big section of people in the organic market garden sector that love using it for mulch, and so quite a bit has gone for that too, and I've been using it at home for that. So it's a pretty diverse crop, but again, not a super strong grower, but it has, like I said, some pretty good properties to it. Here's a bud. That's actually going to be like this would, if we hadn't have cut it, would have eventually come up and made this beautiful pink flower, and these are the stems of it. It's kind of fuzzy looking. These are the stems of it with all these leaves, and the leaves look a lot like lentil. They look a lot like a lentil plant, but much bigger, obviously. And then let's see if I bet you there is a flower.
Most of the plant, it's got a lot more stalk going on than alfalfa does. It's less leaves, more stalk, and the stalks themselves are kind of like, I feel like they're kind of like celery.
I know, like, if I had a stem like this of alfalfa, my animals wouldn't really be interested in it, at least my sheep. But my sheep actually are eating these. They don't eat all of them, but they eat like 98% of what I give them.
Fantastic.
There's like just a handful of like
I wish I had some fresh for you to try. It tastes pretty good.
I think it
like
tastes kind of like peas.
For several days.
There's a more mature flower before it. Each one of those little flower bits throws off a seed. And so yeah, that's the actual flower of it.
So why would someone want to use Sainfoin instead of alfalfa or another legume?
Alfalfa's got problems with bloat, where it can kill your animal if it gets too much of it. And then the beauty with Sainfoin is if you just mix in a small percentage of it, it can take that risk out of feeding your animals alfalfa. But
So the plant itself has condensed tannins in it, which help the animal process all of the protein and the nutrients and everything. And so yeah, you can put it with hay, or with grass hay or alfalfa hay, and it mitigates that risk a bit too. So it's pretty handy.
I think the biggest thing is that it's more palatable than any other hay available to our knowledge. I mean, animals prefer to eat this over alfalfa or grass hay.
Yeah, we've seen your videos. Your animals seem to love it.
They do. You had mentioned just a little bit ago that you guys are not spraying, but you're also not using any conventional fertilizers either, right?
Well, it's nitrogen fixing. It's got when we planted it, we put it down with an inoculant that creates nodules in the plant that pulls nitrogen from the air, and it fertilizes itself, and actually should improve the soil over time.
Yep.
Whereas any grass is just going to take and take and take and leave you with nothing.
And we can get away with not spraying it because this comes up really strong in the spring. It
Stronger than alfalfa.
it's stronger than anything out there. It outcompetes everything. Just this big, beautiful plant comes up really, really fast and well, so none of the weeds can compete at all. And then we go out and we swath it and then bale it. And then at least this year we had a really dry year, but this is the first year we've done this for hay because it takes that whole year of establishing.
When I harvested it, it was about that tall. I mean, it was big, whereas alfalfa's only going to be half this tall. But then the people in our area that had alfalfa, I think they got 3 or 4 cuttings this year. So because it pops right back up, and they were able to get a lot more hay off of it. But so according to the internet, as we all know is the hub of information, Sainfoin has what they call anthelmintic properties, which means that it's a natural wormer of types. So if it's in the animal's diet, it kind of
helps reduce the risk.
Yeah.
It isn't going to do a whole lot for you if you already have a pretty big worm problem, but it will like preventative maintenance type thing. Yeah, so that's another pretty handy.
That's a good reason, actually, and tell them what Sainfoin means.
It's a French word, the sain and then or san and foin, and it means healthy hay. It's not as beneficial for the hay part of it, but the plant itself, one thing that's really great about it is it's so good for pollinators. Any of the butterflies or native pollinators or honeybees, this stuff it's remarkable for it. We've had alfalfa fields around our house before, and you do get good insect and wildlife, but nothing compared to this. You walk out into it and the field's just buzzing with life.
I felt like a real monster when I was swathing it.
All the bugs you were displacing.
Just destroying beauty.
Yeah, and the birds love it. Wildlife loves it. So the plant itself is a really cool plant also.
So it's a beneficial plant to pollinating insects, habitat for birds. It has deworming properties. It does not cause bloat, and it's high in protein, and it's extra palatable to animals.
Yeah.
So it's all around a pretty big winner.
Yeah. I would suggest people even putting some plants in just around their little property, letting your chickens out in it to peck around on it. I mean, the pollinators and everything, especially people who have honeybees getting some on their property. I think that it's a pretty cool plant to have around.
And Stu's pretty cool to have around, giving you sunshade like that.
Trying.
I appreciate
Good job. So if people are interested in getting in touch with you, if they're in the local area and want to get some hay, are you looking for customers for next year?
Yeah, I would love to be able to schedule it out beforehand for next year.
So where can people go to learn more about what you guys are doing or get in touch with you?
Well, we have a brand new Facebook page.
Oh, that's right.
For our farm.
Facebook.com/Elloom Farm.
I believe
That's
so. I'm going to have to email it to you.
Okay.
It's brand new. I haven't really done much on it yet.
We have about 5 1/4, 5.5 tons, somewhere in that range right now, put up for the winter. That should get us all the way through the winter and starting into the spring, so we're probably going to get just a little bit more from another producer just to get us through that spring. Last winter lasted well into April. So we want to be prepared to be able to feed our breeding stock if winter goes long again.